Good morning. My name is Julia Patterson. I'm Vice Chair of Sound Transit Board and also Vice Chair of the King County Council. And I want to welcome all of you today as we get ready to break ground on this long awaited Tukwila Sounder Station. Yes! Woohoo! So when Sounder South line opened in 2000, Tukwila became one of the first cities in the Puget Sound region to benefit from this line. Today, Sounder serves more than 10,000 riders each weekday, and Sounder South riders are some of the most dedicated and the most enthusiastic transit riders that you will find in this region. The number of people who get off at this station is second only to the King Street station in downtown Seattle. So this is a very important, a major transportation transfer point in our transportation network. People meet up here with van pools and they switch to buses at this spot, and I think that's why there's such high ridership. So let me cut to the chase because I know what you're all thinking. I really don't have anything against lumber. I think it's great for backyard projects and a few other things around the house, but let's hear it for the fact that Tukwila finally is going to get a permanent station. Yeah. And we waited a long time for this permanent station. It's been worth the wait. It will be worth the wait. I promise you that. I think that I want to say that it was probably the right thing that we held off on this project because of the fact that it dovetails very nicely with other local projects that are going on and other priorities from the city of Tukwila and also Renton. So by waiting, we've been able to coordinate that work with the cities. And it was also very important that we work closely with those cities because they are our regional partners. So I wanted to tell you before we have the other officials come up to speak that in addition to the new permanent platforms and the shelters, this Sounder Station upgrade will nearly double the amount of parking that we have here. It'll add 70 parking places. We're also going to add a bus transfer station at the north end and a new lot so that we can better connect train riders to the buses and vice versa. Getting around the station is going to be much safer and easier because we will improve the walkways and the signage and all the landscaping. And the signature entryway will be by an artist. Her name is Sheila Klein, and that'll just make it a better place for us to begin our day. The Sounder South line continues to grow. Sound Transit launched service to Lakewood in Pierce County last year, and we will add another Lakewood to Seattle round trip this fall. And in addition to Sounder, Amtrak will continue with 4 daily round trips. And so you can see that this is a key project for South County, for the entire region, not just South County. And we are very thrilled to get it going today. So the people who call Puget Sound region home wouldn't have these benefits if it weren't for the strong support that we have received from the federal level. The budget for the total overall budget for this project is $46 million, and we have received a little bit more than $14 million in federal funding. South King County residents are extremely fortunate to have a representative in Congressman Adam Smith. He cares very deeply about South King County's communities, and all of the constituents, obviously, and that most certainly includes all of the commuters that will be using this station. Congressman Smith grew up in SeaTac. He got his law degree from the University of Washington. He served in the state legislature. I actually replaced him in the state Senate, and that was many years ago now. And he was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1996. So Adam, where are you? There you are right there. I'd like to welcome you, Adam. Without this man's leadership, we would not be here today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here. I want to thank Julia for her great leadership on the council. As many of you know, she's not running again this year. So, gosh, it's turned it's turned out to be a long time of service. I remember when you were in the state house, and then when I got elected to Congress, took the Senate seat, and you've done great leadership for the area. And we grew up in SeaTac. Gosh, less than a mile from each other.
Both graduated from Tyee.
Yeah, Tyee High School. So it's been great working with you, and I know we'll continue to do that. And thanks for your leadership on this. And thanks to Sound Transit. I've joked with Joni Earle with my new district. Sound Transit is like at every corner of my district, in Bellevue, in Seattle, in Tukwila, getting to Federal Way, working our way down to Tacoma. Sound Transit is going to have an enormous impact on my constituents, and I really appreciate the very positive working relationship that my office has, not just with Joni, but with her entire staff. These issues have not been easy, as we know, controversial in different neighborhoods. Where is it going to go? How much is it going to cost? You've worked through all of that with great grace and patience, and have always been there for us, so we appreciate that. And this is a great step. To get a permanent station here for the Sounder station in Tukwila is certainly one of the many critical pieces to making Sound Transit work for the region. It's jobs, certainly getting the stations built, but it's also once you connect the community and enable people to get from one place to another, that's jobs and economic growth as well. I really believe that getting our economy going, nothing's more important than infrastructure. That builds both for the present and for the future, and Sound Transit is a great representative of that. I am happy to help from my office's perspective in any way that we can to continue to move forward, and very excited that we're going to get a permanent base here in Tukwila in the 9th District. So thank you for the chance to say a few words, and thanks again to Julia for her great leadership on all of this. It's great to see you.
Really proud of our congressman. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. By the way, I didn't mention Renton City Council member Greg Taylor. I want to make sure we all know that he's supporting the project as well. Next, I'd like to introduce State Representative Steve Bergquist. And Steve, I hope you're here. They said you might get caught in Olympia, but there you are. You come on up. I understand that your family has been in the district for 4 generations, and you and your family have seen many changes here, so I wanted to give you the microphone. There you go.
Thank you. It's always exciting to follow a congressman. I was recently elected to the state legislature for the first time in November, and one of my campaign promises, I said, I will not pass a state budget until we break ground here for a new Sound Transit station. And I kept to that promise. No, seriously though, as a teacher in the community, as a small business owner in the community, and now as a state representative, I have seen the impacts of projects like this and the impact it has on our businesses, the ability it has to bring people to the district and help our economy out quite a bit. 3 years ago, my aunt, who lives in Portland, needed a ride to the train station to head back down to Portland. I said, yeah, I'll pick you up, take you. I took the exit, same exit, but I headed towards the Tukwila train station, the wrong train station, because I had no idea this even existed. This is a train station, but not really. And and I dropped her off. She said, "Oh yeah, just dropped me off." The pouring down rain. Is this really where you want me to drop you off? I turned around, let her go, and I guess she made it. But we really needed an upgrade here, as you can tell. This will benefit the city of Tukwila, the city of Renton, our whole community, and I really appreciate what Sound Transit's doing here and all the partners, and we appreciate your support, and let's do this. Thank you.
So, Representative, I wondered if you could hold off on that vote till we get that flyover ramp from 167 to 405. And maybe get 167 expanded a little bit. Just hold on. Hold on. My colleague, the budget chair for the King County Council, Joe McDermott, is here as well. And what a great pleasure it is to serve with you, Joe, on the Sound Transit Board of Directors. And Joe and I do represent the South King County sub-area, so I wanted to acknowledge him because he's one of my favorite people to work with. Thank you, Joe. Okay, here we go. Sound Transit's relationship with local cities. It's very key to creating this great project. If we don't have our cities' cooperation, if we don't have that relationship, it makes it very, very difficult. In a very heavy job center with very big plans for growth, it was important that the station design work very well with the city of Tukwila's vision for its future. So I'd like to give a very, very warm welcome to Tukwila City Council President Kathy Hogarty. Let me help you.
Thank you. On behalf of Mayor Hagerton, who couldn't be here today, and on behalf of the Tukwila City Council, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to Tukwila, the city of opportunity, the community of choice. I'd also like to welcome the elected officials here today. We did recognize Greg Taylor. We've got Joe Duffy from the city of Tukwila and Kate Kroller. Are there any other of my fellow electeds from neighboring communities around that we have not introduced? All right. Okay, thank you. The South Center region is one of the region's official centers designated by King County for planned concentrated urban growth. This new sounder station is part of Tukwila's overall plan to encourage development of this, our urban center. It's a very important part of it. Our desire is the resulting development of this area will be of benefit to the entire region. The city has been awarded grant money to assist in building a bike and pedestrian bridge over the Green River, just over here to the west. It'll be located right about maybe straight over from here. That bridge and this station will enable people to live here, walk to the station. Hopefully we're going to be having some housing in here. They could walk to the station and then go from the station to their various locations working in downtown Seattle. It will also enable people who live in the area from the Kent Valley to Tacoma to ride the Sounder train to this station and actually walk to their jobs in the South Center area. The new Tukwila Sounder station is much needed and a welcome addition to the community, providing improved capacity and service for thousands of commuters. So we thank you in behalf of the city of Tukwila. Thank you for being here today and for being a part of this exciting groundbreaking.
Thank you, Kathy. Mr. Joe Sabo thought maybe I was going to forget him. So we're very honored to have a representative here from the Obama administration. He came from Washington, D.C. to stand on this platform today and to speak to us today. And his name is Joe Sabo, and his title is Administrator of the Federal Railroad Administration. He is leading the nation's high-speed rail program. And I understand that you are very comfortable around trains. I see here that you are a fifth-generation railroader. That's amazing. That's quite a legacy there. So, and you've worked around trains most of your career. I just wanted to let you know before Joe comes up that the Federal Railroad Administration made it possible for this project to have an additional $8 million. So we're very, very thankful for that. So please welcome the FRA Administrator, Joe Sabo.
Thank you, Julia. Congressman, good to see you again. And this is a fun crowd. I tell you, this is a fun crowd this morning. On behalf of President Obama and Secretary LaHood, it's an honor to join you this morning. Today, as we break ground for a new permanent Tukwila station, it's going to provide greatly enhanced access to sounder service, bus service, and then from our perspective at the Federal Railroad Administration, our important piece is the Amtrak Cascade service. And it's one of more than 20 federally funded projects now strengthening the Pacific Northwest intercity rail network. It's part of our administration's $814 million investment now that is improving the safety, frequency, and reliability of rail service here in the region, as well as enhancing the frequency of Amtrak Cascade service Upon completion of our series of projects, it will actually grow here from 4 trains a day to 6 round trips a day. But this project will improve more than just transportation. It lays a deep foundation for sustainable development and long-term economic growth. And it supports an ongoing sea change in transportation that's occurring right now as record number of Americans turn to passenger rail. According to a recent study by U.S. PERG and the Frontier Group, total vehicles traveled by Pacific Northwest residents flatlined a decade ago in 2012. And since then, the region's intercity passenger rail ridership has shot up by more than 40%. And consider this, 15 years ago in the Seattle-Portland market, travelers overwhelmingly chose air over rail. Well, today, rail captures 70% of the market. And so our investments are helping to meet this growing demand. Our projects are improving signals, adding track capacity, and as you'll see today, modernizing stations. Our investments will also include some $16 million devoted to addressing the critical issue of mudslides and debris flows. And those projects will begin this summer. They'll include the stabilization efforts, plus the installation of maintenance and warning measures, including catchment walls. And so I look forward to actually visiting the site of some of these mudslides later today. When Washington DOT completes this round of federally funded projects, round trips between Seattle and Portland will increase from 4 to 6, with improved reliability and reduced travel times. The region's long-term goal is to offer hourly service, 13 round trips between Seattle and Portland, and to reduce the trip time from today's travel by more than 1 hour. And to further enhance the safe, reliable, and efficient movement of people and goods by rail, this administration has proposed funding for a national high-performance rail network. For the first time, this would include a rail account within the Transportation Trust Fund, putting rail on parity with highways and aviation. With the support of Congress, we can better empower states, local governments, and the private sector to invest in the rail network our economy needs, and above all, that the people deserve. And so today's project is just one more step in that direction. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Where are you from, Joe?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. Well, welcome to the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for being here. Okay, last but definitely not least is our King County Executive and my fellow Sound Transit Board member and colleague for many years who's going to help us wrap this up today. That's eventually Executive Dow Constantine.
Well, thank you, Julia. You know, most everything's been said already. I do want to, remind us all that this is a big step forward for Sounder commuters throughout this line, and as noted, a big step up from the temporary station. Not that anything wouldn't be a big step up from the temporary station. Since we launched the Sounder service in the year 2000, we have changed the way people in this region get around. Ridership continues to grow. In 5 years, we expect the South Line will have more than 3.3 million annual boardings. More people are choosing Sounder, and they're also choosing express buses, rapid ride, light rail, and making transit a part of their daily routine. This Tukwila station is a great example of how we can connect growing systems and attract new riders. Now, next year, Metro Transit will launch 2 new rapid ride lines, the E and F line, and that F line will begin running in June. It's going to connect this station right here with the Tukwila light rail station, as well as with the cities of Burien and SeaTac and Renton, providing streamlined service to places like South Center and the Boeing plant. And Metro Route 154 will also connect to rail right here. Sound Transit currently has 35 miles of light rail in the planning or construction stages. Our board is now planning the next set of investments to expand this regional system. These investments, as you might recall, take time to deliver, but it is not too soon to start thinking ahead to meet the transportation needs of a growing population. We have much work ahead of us, but today we can celebrate tangible progress by breaking ground on this new station. Now, as Congressman Smith noted, although this is a happy day, it's a bit bittersweet. Today may, in fact, be the last Sound Transit groundbreaking the Councilmember Julia Patterson attends as a member of our board. We owe you a lot, Julia. The county owes you a lot. South King County in particular has truly benefited from your leadership on the County Council and on the Sound Transit Board. Thank you for your years of public service. I want to ask Councilmember Patterson to lead the way as we prepare to turn the first spade of dirt. We want our speakers, elected officials, and project partners to make their way to the golden shovel. And everybody else, get your cameras and your Twitter and Facebook apps ready. Let's break ground. 3, 2, 1, dig. Thank you.